Great God Grove. A giant rift in the sky. The gods in disarray.
And one mail carrier who just might save the day.
Suck up dialogue and launch it back in a wacky world of puzzles, puppets, and a pantheon of weird gods. Or face certain extinction. Great God Grove is built on a very interesting mechanic. You have a mail gun or megaphone that can suck up words that people say. You can then take those words and send them to other characters. Sometimes those words were intended for those characters, and other times we're kind of using those words to manipulate them. The use of these words is puzzle-oriented in the sense that you need to figure out which dialogue pieces you're going to tell to which characters. Within the demo, there isn't a lot of room to play unless you really get experimental. What I mean by that is it's kind of clear the uses of each of those dialogue pieces that we get. But I have a hunch that it's not always as clear, and that maybe there are some mistakes as to what you say and to whom. I would describe the graphics, audio, and narrative of this game as goofy, but I think Limbo Lane says it best themselves, as Great God Grove really follows their description of themselves. And that is that it's a silly game with squishes and bounces that shows a love for the kitschy, the surreal, and the utterly bizarre. Squishes and bounces are definitely what I would describe a lot of the audio choices as, right down to the not dialogue of it. The color palette is bold, and the character design is wild and creative. I think the writing meshes really well with this outlandish visual and audio design. We meet some very interesting characters with a promised 60 in the full game, including 2 gods, of which there are 8 in the full game. The story we're thrown into is tense. The apocalypse is upon us, and usually this is fine. Usually the gods are able to work together and close the rift in the sky. But not this time. There is not only a rift in the sky, but a rift between the gods. It is our newfound duty to repair that rift and take over for King, the person who is meant to take the throne of the Eloquence God. From the story I've experienced, I think there's something fishy going on not only with King, but also with Inspecta. Based on the demo, I'm not confident in whether or not this game has replayability, though I have a hunch, like I mentioned before, that you can use the dialogue you collect in various ways, which leads me to believe that there are choices you can make which will affect the way the narrative goes, which of course would add to replayability. I would also suspect that there are at least 2 endings, one where you reunite the gods and the rift gets closed, and one where you fail to do so and the apocalypse does indeed happen. Overall, I think this game is built on a really interesting mechanic, and I'm curious to see what kind of shenanigans you can create by playing around with who you give what words to. The dialogue is written in a kooky way, which I think could be a turnoff for some people, but I think it's really fun to kind of play around with spelling and dialect. If you like zany characters, creative use of language, and a lot of social interaction, then this is a game for you. Wishlist it now, it is releasing this year.
Thank you so much for checking out this gaming video by me, Chickadee. And now it's time to click all the buttons down below, subscribe, like, you know the drill. I hope you guys had fun, I had a blast, catch you next time. Bye!